Hello there, this is Albert Magnus, and I'm starting a new Requiem series about a red guard named Khafnar. And the focus of the series will be doing the Thieves Guild quests, Dead is Dead. And I've done some practice runs, and I haven't quite done it yet, but I think I can do it, or at least make it pretty far, or at least make an interesting series out of it. I'm doing this series with the special edition, with the newly released Requiem 5.0. Everyone's excited about it, as it's been a long time in development. And so I've been playing the unofficial version for a few months now. I was a little bit slow to adopt. It's been around for a while, I guess. But it's just as stable as advertised, and I'll be able to do much longer videos. I mean, without having to stop because worry about the game crashing. I don't know how long I can actually sit here and do a video, but
Come on.
I'll try to aim for like 45 minutes and then shorten it a little bit as I go. Let me tell you a little bit about my plans for this character. Who's going to play a light warrior. And I'm going to put whenever I level, I'm going to put all my points into health and stamina. And so I'm going to be limited by the low base magic of the Red Guard, but I will cast spells. The other thing is I usually like to do alchemy, and I think that's a fun way to play. And I've made other videos about that, but this time I'm not going to use it, just to switch things up. And I've been practicing that way, and I like to switch in strategy a little bit. Okay, for this character, I'm going to start with lockpicking. I always choose lockpicking. It's just with one perk you get a skill that you can continuously level, and helps you level your character. And so just got to make sure you have enough lockpicks. Then he's going to be a light warrior, like I said, and which is a point in the evasion tree. I'm pretty sure the mechanic works that if you put more points in this tree, the faster it levels. I'm not sure if other trees work like that, but the faster you can get your evasion up for a light warrior, the better, because a lot of the really powerful skills are up at the higher part of the tree. And then I'm going to take marksman, so he's going to use bows and swords in about equal amount. So if you're using a crossbow, you usually don't have to put a perk point to that, but bows you really do, otherwise you use too much stamina. And then swords will work fine, but we'll put points in this tree once we level a few times. Let me show you the mod setup I have. I basically like to play straight Requiem, so I've got Requiem 5.0. Then I have the Sky UI set up. I think I already set this up already, yeah. And then I use a block steal mod to keep myself from stealing stuff I don't want to, like accidentally stealing a plate or something. And I have another mod which isn't listed here to allow me to pick up skill books without reading them, and I find that very useful. I don't like to read the skill books until you're ready. And lastly, I have another mod. So in Special Edition, they changed the sprint key from a toggle to a toggle from a hold, which is what it is in Legacy. And I find that very hard to play a character like this with a toggle, because when you run into things or change direction, the sprint stops. I don't know why they changed it or who likes it that way, but I don't. So I found a mod to change it back, and it works fine. So you'll definitely see with the way I play, you have to be able to sprint and avoid attacks and so forth. Alright. Forgive me if this is a little dark in the beginning. I'm using enhanced lights and effects for my lighting mod with the enhancer, and so I think that'll be useful in the when I'm doing Thieves Guild quests or sneaking or whatever. In general, I like it a little bit dark on the interior. But I don't have a torch right now, so there's one right here, so problem solved. And note. And the port. The port has all the trainers in it, if you don't know. Okay, let's set up the torch. Alright. And so torches will, they do burn out, but it's kind of a long time. I'm kind of paranoid about it, so I switch, I reset it all the time, and basically I unequip it, or I just go to a different gear set. That resets the timer, excuse me.
Damn, that dragon doesn't give up easy.
What are you doing? We need to get out of Helgen.
So one thing you might ask yourself is, why did I choose to play a Redguard versus some of the other more stealth-friendly classes, like Khajiit is great, Wood Elf is great, Argonian even is great. They have a lot of bonuses for the initial Thieves Guild or Thieves skills. So one reason first is that whenever you play Dead is Dead, you want to choose, if you can, choose one of the melee races. Even though I've done it with Argonians a few times, the melee races, the Orcs, the Nords, and the Redguard have bonuses to both health and stamina. And that little margin is a huge benefit right in the beginning, because like I think like Bretons and Wood Elves start with like 80 health, and the difference between that and like a Nord with 120 or whatever health it has, it's like, it's incredible how frequently you just get totally smashed as a Breton. Just so you know, an orc hits you and you're just dead. So the extra margin is super important. And so that was a craftsman manual, by the way, if you didn't know it was there. It just says there's stuff down there. So anyway, so that was a key thing. Second of all, I wanted to use bows, and the extra carrying capacity is helpful with the Redguard. The racial bonuses that they get a bonus against poison and disease like Argonians do, which is, I find, very useful. And then their once a day racial, I think, is one of the best for once a day, in that it's a basically equivalent of a slow time shout for 30 seconds. And or like the high level evasion perk. And so looking for the lockpicks here. I think they're pretty much impossible to find if you don't.
Come with us. We need to get out of here.
You have no authority over me, boy.
Didn't you hear me? I said the keep is
So
under
time
attack.
second.
Wait a
Stuff
second.
over here.
Looks like there's something in this cave.
Yes, so that's useful throughout the game,
Don't bother.
and you'll see me use it probably pretty soon.
See if you can.
So anyway, red guards are just cool.
We need everything we can get.
I think that's good a justification as any.
Sure. Take all my things, please.
I'll just pick a few locks that have gold money behind them, and also these robes are useful. But I'll try to conserve my lock picks. They're a little bit hard to get in the beginning.
There's no way out that way.
Alright, so this section is actually much easier if you choose the Stormcloak path. Hadvar is a stud, but he gets overwhelmed sometimes. And there's archers in the back, which sometimes target you. And so you just have to be super careful. Like that arrow just almost hit me. I think they're both melee modes, so let's go around this side. Hadvar should be able to handle him. Check now. Let's see if I can. Yeah, Hadvar's coming back. I don't have much stamina, so. There we go.
Alright, let's see if we can find a way out.
Okay, not too bad. I'm going to walk slowly here to get my stamina back.
Let's see where this goes. I guess we're lucky that didn't come down on top of us. We'd better push on. I'm sure the others will find another way out.
See the arrows sticking out. It's kind of funny. Alright.
That doesn't go anywhere. I guess we'd better try this way.
You're such a stud with the arrow. Alright. Pull it out later. I need to get that mod that keeps them from turning around like that. Anyway, probably too late for this time. Right. So these spiders, because I have poison resistance, aren't too bad. But my main thing is just to keep the big ones from targeting me. So I generally wait for them to come out. Try to help out the smaller ones.
What next? Giant snakes. Hold up. There's a bear just ahead. See her? I'd rather not tangle with her right now. You might be able to sneak by. Just take it nice and slow, and watch where you step. Or if you're feeling like it, you can take this bow. Might take you by surprise.
Alright, the bear doesn't generally come over here if you stay over here. So you don't have to sneak even. Anyway, I don't know, I like to play along a little bit.
This looks like the way. I was starting to wonder if we'd ever make it.
Here we go.
Wait. Looks like he's gone for good this time. But I don't think we should stick around to see if he comes back. Closest town from here is Riverwood. My uncle's the blacksmith there. I'm sure
Alright, so I'm going to follow Hadvar to Riverwood.
if we split up. Good luck.
And so it'll be kind of uneventful, but I guess I have some few comments. First of all, when I moved over to Special Edition, I redid all my graphics mods. And I used a list that I had used for the Legacy Edition, but it's been refreshed by some... It's like the ultimate Skyrim modding guide or something like that by some Ukrainian guy. And it's really detailed. And he just has tons and tons of graphics mods, and it also has gameplay mods on there as well, but not Requiem for some reason. But anyway, so I just go through that list, and I kind of know the major ones that you need, and I always like to experiment with new ones. And so if you want to do that yourself, it's not very hard, I think, once you do it for the first time. And I guess there's a lot of packages that people like Ultimate Skyrim and things like that. I don't like those because I don't have control over gameplay, meaning that they sometimes will load mods that change gameplay in a secret way, and I don't like that. And I don't like any. I like having. I like playing the same gameplay every time with a new type of character. That way I can compare and sort of run them through the same set of hoops. And there's always different strategies for different character types. And that's just what I like to do with Requiem. That's why I play it so much. Because you can make so many different types of characters. But when I've tried other sets, other sort of setups and mods and all that. I've probably played every way. I played a lot of, and I just I think there's always trade-offs, and I always come back to just straight Requiem. Because whatever you change, well, it changes a lot of other things, and sometimes those are good, sometimes those are bad. Anyway, and I know all the sort of the way to build a character in Requiem really well, and so a lot of new players would know that they'll get a mod and so they can avoid having to learn it, or they just don't like the way that happens. But anyway, so that doesn't bother me. So that's the way I play it this way. So I guess my point is that I like having control of my graphics mods, because that way I can control the gameplay. Alright, so while I was babbling there, I chose the Warrior Stone, and the reason for that is that doing more damage helps you not die, and playing Dead is Dead, not dying is a key element. And so being able to kill things quickly, and especially with swords, where you're sort of limited with a lot of encounters by armor penetration, and you really need to up the damage. And plus, at some point when I'll avoid magic casting creatures. Crap. So necromancers and other casting types until later in the game. I'll just avoid them. But once I'm ready to do that, I might switch over to the Lord Stone and get the magic resistance bonus. And that's also in that same warrior standing stone group. So I'm not going to be casting a lot of spells, so the mage group is not quite as useful. The ritual is kind of cool. I've never really built a play around it, though you can do some cool things with it, where you resurrect all the people in range. And then the thieves, since I'm doing the Thieves Guild quest, it makes some sense to choose that, but still I prefer, you still have to fight. I'm going to have to fight things. So the thief skills, you can sort of build your skills, and you don't need those bonuses so much. Whereas the combat bonuses is really where you're likely to die. I like to just maintain my combat skills like that. Okay, so this bit is scripted, so I'm just going to cut it out or speed through it or do something. so you don't have to sit here and watch me. Watch the screams in a bit.
Keep your voice.
Alright, so since I did this a little bit, I now friendly with Alvor and his family, and I can pick up low-level items, and that includes things inside chests, which even if they're marked with that little red hand, crap, I always take that plate. Then you can still take them if they're in a chest. If they're not in a chest, you can't. So mainly I'm looking for food items, because the first thing I'm going to do when I get to Whiterun and I get some time is make some stews. And so I'm just looking for free items. If I were an alchemist, I'd pick up this troll fat, but I'm not going to do that. And see, these potions are both smithing potions, but they're too low level to matter. There's a mammoth tusk, which is good for Isolde's quest. Alright, and you notice that it had that red hand next to it, meaning that it was over a certain value, but because it was in a chest, it's now not a stolen item. Okay, so... And if you see my other videos, I talk about things like that, but I'm going to repeat a lot of those things. I don't know if you've ever seen any of my videos. They aren't super popular, so who cares? Anyway, I'm going to check these barrels for... Cabbage is good. Food. Okay. So one of my graphics mods, one of my favorite graphics mods that I've loaded for special editions is Bridges of Skyrim. And I don't think it changes gameplay very much. I've seen a giant walk under here, so I think that's the highest thing that could walk under here. And they look great, and they don't add any more bridges or anything like that, so I think they're cool. And they're all unique, so somebody put a lot of effort into that, and so it's just a cool thing. One of the cool things about Skyrim, all these cool mods. Alright, not use a steel arrow here, use a be cheap and use an iron arrow. Since I'm a red guard, I can't use bestial stew, so the raw meat and the wolf heart, which go into bestial stew, aren't useful to me, and I'm not using alchemy, so the wolf heart isn't useful either. So they're just gonna sit there and rot, and they weigh a lot, so it's for the best. However, I'm going to do smithing, and I'll probably do enchanting too. Crafting is good. Crafting allows you to raise your overall level, even if you don't put a lot of perks into it. So, like smithing, you can get to 100 with one perk, but just by making steel armor and leather armor up to about 70, and then sort of, what's the bonus called? Improving it. From up to 100. So, but I might actually, because I'm doing archery and you can make some cool stuff with it. So I might do more with it. Certainly, I'll try to make arrows, and jewelry is always good. Jewelry is a good money maker.
You handle yourself well. You could make for a decent shield, brother. An outsider, eh? Never heard of the Companions? An order of warriors. And we show up to solve problems if... Not for me to... The old man's... If you go to him, good luck.
Yeah, so I'm going to do the Thieves Guild quest, like I said. I might come... if I get through all that, I might do the... Or I will do the Companions quest. What's Rhea's problem here? Let's see, is there something else going on? So I will do it to get the werewolf bonus. So you get 100 health and stamina, which is a lot. And you lose your divine blessing, but I'm going to be a thief, and probably only have Nocturnal's blessing, which is nice. But I don't remember if it's you can get it with the werewolf or not. Anyway, that's a long way off. I'm not going to. At that point, I don't care. It's not as good as 100 stamina and health. I'm gonna walk slowly a little bit.
Halt! City's closed with the drag. Riverwood's in danger too. You better go on in. You'll find the Jarl in Dragon's Reach, at the top of the hill.
Gonna wait for him to get back in position. Otherwise the door doesn't open.
We'll pay whatever it takes.
Alright, I always do this quest first.
For the Imperial soldiers.
Aye, it's a sword. Listen, could you take... Thanks.
So when you complete it,
Don't
so I'm
forget to check
it's
inside
just
the shop
taking
if
the
you need anything.
sword to her father. You get access to these barrels, and I like to stick smithing materials in here, so like leather and iron and whatever, because there's a smelter and all the things you need right there. And you can use them for free once I complete it and you get friendly with her. The other part is that you also get friendly with her father, which gives you access to all the low-level items in Dragon's Reach, and that's definitely something you want. So it's a
I
good
know
quest.
your family's honor is important to you, but we
They say Helgen got hit by a dragon. It took me weeks to write horror stories. Can't see
Okay, so this part's going to be all scripted, so I will probably cut it out and come back when I'm ready to, when it's over, I guess.
Nothing? My lord.
What's the meaning of this interruption? Well, that explains why the guards let you in. Come on then. The Jarl will want to speak to you personally.
Who's this then? So, you were at Helgen. You saw this dragon with your own eyes? By Ismir, Irileth was right. What do you say now, Proventus? Shall we continue to trust in the strength of our walls against the dragon?
My lord, we should send troops to Riverwood at once. It's in the most immediate danger. The White Dragon is lurking in the mountains.
The Jarl of Falkreath will view that as a provocation. He'll assume we're preparing to join Ulfric's side and attack him. We should not...
Enough! I'll not stand idly by while the dragon burns my hold and slaughters my people. Irileth, send a detachment to Riverwood at once.
Yes, my Jarl.
If you'll excuse me, I'll return to my duties.
That would be best. Well done. You sought me out on your own initiative. You've done Whiterun a service. I won't forget it. Here, take this as a small token of my esteem. There is another thing you could do for me. Suitable for someone of your particular talents, perhaps. Come, let's go find Farengar, my court wizard. He's been looking into a matter related to these dragons and rumors of dragons.
I'm so angry I can hardly stand it. Father promised me a new dress days ago. Now where is it?
It takes a while to make a dress, Dagny. You have to be patient.
But I don't want to be patient. I want a dress right now. Father promised.
All you ever do is complain about what you want. You're a spoiled baby.
Farengar, I
I'm
think
going
I
to tell
found
Father
someone who
said
can
that.
help you
He'll
with your
tame your hive for
dragon
sure.
project. Go ahead and fill him in with all the details.
So the Jarl thinks you can be of use to me. Oh yes, he must be... Well, when I say fed... You see, when sure... But I began to search. I, go to Bleak Falls Barrow, find this tablet, no doubt interred in the main chamber, and bring it to... I believe.
Okay, so I have the quest for the Dragonstone, but I also like to pick up the quest to bring the frost salts to Arcadia, so I can get friendly with her. And then once you're done with that, you're on your own.
Anything we can use to fight
The dialogue will continue, but you don't have to stick around. And then I'm looking for Proventus, and I think he's probably already out here.
I serve Jarl from Adrian? Ah, thank you. Please, take these few coins for services rendered. The Jarl has put out a bounty on some bandits. Here, take a look at this decree for details.
Yeah, it's always a good idea to pick up the bounty. I may not do that for a long while, but it's just convenient.
Brigands I can handle. What is it? Huh?
Alright, so, like I said, we now have access to low-level items in here, and so we're going to sort of raid a few things. So one thing, and you don't need, I don't think you need to have access, is to read the books, once you don't pick them up. And I just like to get, I almost, it's been a long time since I actually did that quest. So it's actually pretty hard because you have to fight some Forsaken, and by the time you can do that, you have weapons that are comparable to Red Equal, in my opinion. And so the cupboards, there's 3 cupboards in here that have between 150 and like 230 septums, and so that's probably the most important things we can pick up. It's also coin purses. Oops. And then there's Lost Legends, which is a begins the Galder quest, and it's all over the place, but that's a good place to get it. Sort of getting lucky with the cupboards. Had 2 of them, over 200 septums. Anyway. So we'll go down to the basement here, and we'll check for like food items. So cabbage and red apples are good for apple cabbage stew. Potatoes are good for, I think, venison stew. And then the ales are for healing poultices. Whoops. And I'm going to dump some things so I don't run out of room. Stuff you accidentally pick up. Alright, so cabbage. And there's raw beef. More ale. I generally don't make vegetable stew. The gourds are used in that. Well, for this character, I think it has to do with the magic region. Oh, there's 2 hides. Hides are good. And horse. And ale. And go in here. Here's another cupboard. So, carrots are for beef stew. Cabbage. Red apples. That's one. Haven't got a lot of salt. Tomatoes are okay. Carrots, garlic, leeks, some venison. Up here I can grab the garlic. Potatoes. You end up with too many of a lot of these, but sorry. And I'm over encumbered, so I'm gonna. I think there's a longbow I can get rid of, but I think we're done. bag or something here? I checked that already. Alright, I'm going to quickly check with Farengar for cheap scrolls. And that guy's sitting in the middle of the table. Anyway,
Oh, I thought you were already on your spells and incantations for those with the talent to cast.
ooh, that's a amazing scroll, but I don't have money for it. So oak flesh, actually not bad. Ooh, fire rune is. Trying to think what the best. I think I'm gonna take the fire rune. Yeah, that's a good one.
Off to Bleak Falls Barrow with you. The Jarl is not a patient man. Neither am I.
Alright. You don't have a lot of money to start off with, but if you can find the best one is if you can find a summoned spirit wolf. It's just useful for so many things. And they can be like 100 septims. But yeah, the fire room is actually excellent, so it's only 200.
There it is, friend.
I'm going to get a blessing on Kinnereth, so get a little extra stamina. Alright, so I'm going to get some quests from the ladies here in the marketplace.
I heard him boasting at the Bannered Mare. If you want to try, go right ahead. I don't think anything will get through that.
Once I've made enough
skull of his, though.
before I met one of the caravan leaders. You do that? If you find one, I could teach you a thing or two about. I didn't mean.
So I have her mammoth tusk, but I'm going to wait till I'm higher level to use it.
Take a good look.
Obviously it gets harder to level things, and it makes sense to do it later rather than sooner.
But I suppose you expect some compensation. Here. These potions should suffice.
Alright, I
So
usually
you're
sell the
interested
Elysian
in my
one back.
potions and ingredients? Come back anytime if you need a remedy.
And so now that I'm friendly with her, the low level potions, which are crucial, are available. Let's see. And 4 red apples. Then there's the recipe for healing poultices. There, you have to read it before you get it, before you can make it. Anyway, yeah. I think I got all the potions. I don't need the ingredients.
Nothing about
Okay, so I'm gonna chop some wood to sell to Hulda in the Bannered Mare, and that will allow me to get friendly with the.
That was just lying around? Good fun.
It was just sitting there for like all day. I don't know what his deal is. Anyway, so you sell the firewood to Hulda, and then you get access to the little items in the Bannered Mare, and you also get to stay there for free and get the well-breasted bonus. So, well worth the trouble of chopping 6 pieces of firewood. And I'm over encumbered for a little bit, but we're going to take care of that in a minute.
Face it, Cal. Your stupid son is dead. He died.
Come on in. Just stoke the fire. Take a seat and get the cold out. If it's work you need, honest gold for honest work.
Okay, so
For the thirsty,
I always buy all of the
for the
bottled
hungry.
water. We may have to buy some more things.
Need anything
depending
else?
on
Just let me know.
having that in inventory, but I'm going to start making
Sadie, dear?
stews.
Yes, Mom?
I need to buy a
You
few
still
things.
need to remove that blood stain from the
Raw beef.
incident.
Garlic
Of
up
course,
here. Check the chest. More pelts. Good. Leather strips. There's a stamina potion and more ale.
This is an
And
ode to
Jack Sparrow.
Skyrim's staunch protectors. Imperials. We drink to our youth. Today
I might go over here and check for salt.
The age of aggression is just about done. We'll drive the storm cloaks and restore what we own.
Sack back there. Potatoes.
Blood and steel, we will take back our home. Down with Ulfric, the killer of kings. On the day of your
Alright,
death,
there's some venison,
we'll drink and we'll
potatoes. Picked up the bowl accidentally.
children of
Damage.
Skyrim, and we fight all our lives. Summon our
And there.
beckons.
More venison.
Of us die.
Probably have enough tomatoes. There's the leeks, raw beef. There's always salt in these fish barrels. So it's
Ours, and
always
see it
not a
might
lot,
be
but maybe enough.
that has
Gotta see how we
our hopes and our dreams.
make. So we can make 3 venisons, 3 beef, and then we have just enough for a bunch of apple caplets to choose. Okay, so that worked out. Alright, so I'm going to hang on to my ale here, and then I'm going to throw the cabbage in there. We have a lot of extras. It's fine. And then I can keep my garlic in here. I don't know why I have a butterfly. I'm going to keep these other items, put the mammoth tusk in there. I'm going to put those near the blacksmiths. Let's dump our books in here except for the craftsman manual. We don't need these red robes. And we'll get rid of that axe. Okay, so let's go in here, and there's 3 cupboards in here too, so more cash. Okay, so I'm going to make some healing poultices. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I think it's Holt. Anyway. Basically, we don't have a way to heal ourselves besides healing potions. We don't want to use those outside of combat, so healing poultices heal you very, very slowly. But it lasts a long time. So you have one, and you can either rest an hour and you get most of your health back, or you can just do it slowly while you're walking around. Anyway, we need blue mountain flower and tundra cotton. And I think Special Edition put a lot more herbs or alchemy ingredients in Whiterun. These used to not all be here. It might be a mod that I have, but I change my mods a lot, and they still are here, so I don't know what it's actually from. I haven't tried playing Special Edition by itself.
Your main job will be to keep an eye out and get the people to safety if the town is attacked. I don't expect the 3 of you to fight off the dragon by yourself, but I do expect you to do your
Here. Cotton. Okay, that should be good. Let's try to get these. Okay. Let's get his quest while we're here.
You tried mercenary work? My Saf, he fed his entire family with the... I don't know why I'm saying this, but if you find it out in your travels, I'd be grateful to you.
Okay. He can level... So completing that quest will level your one-handed and block. So if you wait to do it until later on, then that can be pretty valuable. Alright, so we picked way too much of that, but it's fine. as long as we use all the ale.
You're someone who can get things done. I like her.
Okay, so I'm going to use this barrel. I'm going to put the hides, strips. And I'm going to go ahead and put the mountain flower and the tundra in there as well, since that's where you make the healing poultices. Okay, I'm going to take a break, and then I'll come back and we'll do some more.